Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm just going to take you on a journey about a week, not just any ordinary week. So it's nothing dramatic. So it's the kind of week that most of us probably lived. And so I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Jean Henry, and an application engineer. So for the next 45 minutes, I'm just going to take you through drawing less and deliver more, boosting your design efficiency with DraftSight. So basically, here's the shape of our week. So we're going to look at what is the real cost of design inefficiency. So where do teams quietly lose hours? And once we identify those inefficiencies, we are going to look at the packages available in DraftSight, which is professional and premium, and the tools that is available to mitigate these losses. And once we establish that some of these tools, we are going to then look at standardizing the designs across the team. And then also we're going to look at what's new in DraftSight 2026. So every honest story starts with a problem. So let us start there too, because in any design department, there's just things that just can go wrong. So we will forget them by Friday if there's a whole list of issues that come up. So, but just to name from some of the problems that do arise when it comes to design inefficiencies. So where do our hours quietly disappear? So number one, it's repetitive drafting. So we tend to redraw, we continuously redrawing certain parts or entities that can be made a block, for example. There is communication gaps that exist between departments, for example, your design department as well as your production team. Interpretation errors. So you have certain staff that interpret drawings incorrectly. So, for example, if there is a layer that using layers on your drawings, so the draftsman understands that a line at this thickness means something else. So, an example of a electrical panel, if your line thickness is 2.5 millimeters, for example, one would assume the gauge of the cable then. So, if there is a miscommunication between how someone interprets that drawing, they can end up wiring the panels with the wrong wire, for example. And then also manual updates. There are certain features, certain tasks that designers and draftsmen do continuously and redundantly, where there are automation tools available that can solve these. So there are four culprits behind every design delay. I've myself worked in a design department and as well as a projects department. So this is basically from my experience and also from some of interactions with other draftsmen that we encountered. Number one, the main thing is slow drafting. Again, this is not a skills issue, but just manual, tedious tasks that designers do on a day-to-day basis, and this does cost hours. Multiple commands and redrawings the parts over and over again. Inconsistent standards, so you got different layers, fonts, dimensions diverge across users. So you're a team of 4 engineers, and you find that your star designer has the best setup ever, and then your other draftsmen, they are just in the shadow. So when drawings get shared amongst the team, and the standards are not the same, there has to be a lot of rework done to ensure that those drawings are up to standard. And there's also the miscommunication, which to be drawings, again, as I mentioned earlier, are misread between the office and the floor, and then also repetitive tasks like your bombs, your tag numbers, etc. So in practice, so just there's an example of a company in Gauteng. They are still a fabricator. They have around 12, actually 13 draftsmen. And they've been losing hours, multiple hours on a weekly basis, and they cost them hours on their projects as well. And if you equate it in numbers, it can be costly, especially when you are penalized for design delays and project delays as well. So again, investigating, it just boils down to standards. There's too many repetitiveness that occurs between users. Again, as I mentioned, all 4 culprits existed inside the design department, and that costed them projects. It costed them time on delivering as well. So introducing standardization to a design team can save you hours of delays, or from delays. Sorry. So where does DraftSight Professional come into play? So there are everyday tools that can take on slow, repetitive drafting, so you can draw less. So let us just look at some of these tools. The first tool that is common or common but not commonly used is the toolbox. So the toolbox has your standard parts, holes, wall symbols. It has your nuts, bolts, washers. So as you can see in this on the image on the side here, the video, the clip, sorry, you can see a designer is inserting a hole, and now a standard user or a junior engineer or designer would draw 2 circles, 2 lines, whereas with the toolbox, this already exists. So you're just dragging and dropping. The nice thing about this as well is it has attributes assigned to it. So when you do your labels or you're adding your notes, you can then just pull it from the from the hardware itself, because it's already integrated it's attribute applied to that sketch. So that saves a designer from drafting 2 circles, 2 lines, and also adding notes. There's also the batch print. So you need to print 50 to 100 drawings, and we know it's file, print, set your features and your printing options, and then print. Nice thing about DraftSight in this case is you can bulk batch print your drawings. You can batch print it to PDF or batch print it to your plotter and plot them as well. And for multidisciplinary teams, there's also the PDM connector. So if you are a multidisciplinary company where you have your SolidWorks users, you got your PDM users, and you got DraftSight users and simulation, etc. That is connected to your PDM vault. You can also ensure that your drawings are saved onto the server, and as well as your revisions are always up to date. Your version control is always up to date, whereas those who serve outside an environment such as PDM, for example, can lose information. So let's say your manager comes, I'm looking for revision 2, and you're like, but I thought we were on revision 4. And then the second, another designer will say, no, but there's no revisions, nothing has been sent. Where in environments such as PDM, you can actually control those type of revisions and avoid those type of issues. So those are 3 of the 6. The other 3 is formulas and tables. Inside DraftSight, you can insert Excel type tables where you can add formulas. So if you want to calculate, in this case, the cost of your consumable products as well as your flanges, etc. You can then just add the quantities, unit price, and then create your formula, your sum formula, and generate the total. This also helps you. This prevents you from actually doing the table inside DraftSight and then going to Excel and then just doing the same thing over and over again, saving time. We also have the layer manager. The layer manager ensures that there's consistency and standardization amongst the entire team. So Bob, for example, if Bob is using a cyan colored line for his outline of a factory floor, for example, and Paul is using a red line, those inconsistencies can cost the team. So if you have layers that you can control and manage as a design manager, for example, or a senior designer, if you have those layer managers across the entire team, you know that everybody is speaking the same language, and you know that the red line, 2mm red line is meant for this, maybe for a pylon or for a pillar, as an example. We also have block attributes. Block attributes is actually a nice thing. So let's say you have a valve, and the valve, you have a valve, symbol of a valve that's in your drawing. So now you need to give it meaning, if I can put it that way. You can embed data into the attribute, into the block, sorry, where you can have a reference, where you can have the type, the model number, serial number, etc. So the block attribute is very useful when it comes to just dragging and dropping a symbol, and then all that information, the metadata pulls through onto the drawing, and then you will have a symbol with your notes, basically. So I'm going to go into a live demo, and I'm going to show you one of the time savers. Every draftsman hates modifying, editing, and fixing drawings. And the pain that does occur is standard trim makes you pick cutting edges first. So minutes gets lost dozens of times a day. So it might be 1 or 2 drawings, 2 or 3 lines, but what happens if it is a shop floor, or what happens if it's like just a whole bunch of reference lines that needs to be cleared. So by just having certain tools available for you to use, you can save so much time. So I'm just going to head over to my DraftSight quickly. Okay, so you'll see I have a model over here that I need to now trim. So as I mentioned, a standard average designer, or those who just when I say average, I'm referring to a junior designer, their go-to would be trim. So their mouse navigation, they would have gone now to, let's see, home. Where do I find this again? Oh, let's look, and they will go to trim and then search trim, and then they select trim. What they'll do is now they'll specify the cutting edge. In most cases, some cases, they will select the wrong edge. And then after that, they will select the segment. So now imagine 1,000 clicks a day. This 1,000 clicks at a time. This thing will drain any draftsman. But now the nice thing with DraftSight is it has a trim feature called Power Trim. So Power Trim is it's a feature that is pulled from SolidWorks. So you can see you just drag. Okay, I took that circle out, but sorry, let me just do it again. You just drag it over there. Drag over there, saving you so much time. Then 1,000 clicks, death by 1,000 clicks, as they call it. The nice thing with this is as well, you can just cut away as much as you want, and then after that, you can then just start selecting. So I'm just zooming in too much here. You can just start highlighting and deleting as you go along. Yep, so basically that's your power trim. I can just do another power trim just to show you. Another thing I want to show you guys as well is the mouse gestures that's available. So mouse gestures is also unique to DraftSight. You can only use tools available when you're doing your when working with DraftSight. So I've got my power trim over there, and I can just start dragging right around there. And once you have all the data clear that you want, you can then just go about save drawing. So now imagine trim, select your cutting entity, and then start cutting. So now you've cleared that, for example, using the old method. Then you have to start again with this. This is your cutting edge. Then this will be your cutting edge next. Then this will be so forth and so on. So the nice thing about power trim is you're able to control just by dragging your cursor. I'll just press this again quickly. There you go. Just dragging your cursor over the entities that you want to remove. The nice thing about this is if you hold shift, you can also extend to, if you want to extend as well, you can just hold the shift key and drag your entity over over the line that you want to end, or the entity that you want to extend, and then it will extend while you do that. Okay, so there are also 4 fast commands. So the Power Trim is a very powerful tool. Let me just emphasize on that. Power Tool is because most designers, as from some of the studies that I've done, is that most designers spend most of the time editing, correcting, editing drawings. They spend more time doing that than actually designing or modifying or even what you call it, improving certain designs. They spend most of the time fixing and correcting as well. So again, with a tool such as Power Trim, you can get rid of, you can mitigate that time wasting. Then again, the 4 fast commands that save hours every week. This Smart Dimension. So Smart Dimension is a very nice tool. I'll actually see if I can get something open quickly. But Smart Dimension is different to your conventional way of dimensioning inside of a 2D CAD environment. There's also the quick modify. So this is like a selection of tools that you use to modify. They exist in one location that you can just select them. So it's your stretch, it's your copy, it's your move, it's your mirror. All those features are grouped into one place under modify, which I'll show you guys as well. And there's also auto dimension. You can box apart and dimension the whole thing in 2 steps. And mouse gestures is which I just showed you guys now. You can just right click and drag, and then this wheel will come up. So you have option to select 4 mouse gestures or 8 gestures. Again, it's all about muscle memory. It takes about 10 tries basically to get familiar with mouse gestures. Design resources. Design resources, reuse, don't redraw. So let's say you have a project, you have a new project. It's similar to the one of an existing project that you guys are working on or have completed. So now you are asked to do a project based on certain parts or features that you were used in a previous project. The nice thing about design resources, you can, as you can see in the video over here, you can just launch it. You can go to the project that has those drawings, click on the drawing, and from there, all the attributes such as your blocks, your layers, your even dimension styles, your line, your your layers as I mentioned, all attributes that is linked to that specific drawing. You can just drag and drop it into a new environment. As we can see here, just drag and drop it, and then it will just reuse exactly what has been there. So you don't have to start again. You don't have to start like a new part, redraw everything again. Some of you don't do it. I'm not saying everybody does, but there are the people that, or people, but designers that tend to just start a new project again. So again, that in itself wastes time, just redrawing stuff. Whereas if you can reuse, you save much more time. And this is the fastest way to draw less. It's just to reuse what you already have drawn. Cool. That's just the tools that's in the professional environment. Now we're going to look at what's happening in DraftSight Premium. So the tools that scale your team's speed and deliver more from every drawing. Okay, so here we're going to look at DraftSight Premium. So what gets unlocked? So there's a 3D workspace. So the thing, we'll see on one of the slides later about the difference between DraftSight Professional and Premium. But one of the benefits of having Premium is that you have a 3D workspace where you can view, you can design in 3D as well as open up 3D models and also create isometric views, etc. There's also the parametric constraints, capture design intent, drawings, update with the model. There's also the sheet set manager, and which publish a whole set of into one standard. So let's say you have a project with 1,000 drawings and they exist in one folder, and now you asked to find maybe I'm not sure, maybe a bracket or a valve, for example. What happens is with the sheet, now you're going through a folder with 1,000 parts. When the sheet set manager, you can search the drawing, you can view it, and a nice thing, and also remember, whenever you're designing, and this is just a rule of thumb I tell most people, is that always name your components so that's easy to find. Sometimes you have no name 1, no name 99, no name something. So always ensure that if you want to have consistency and communicate effectively amongst your team, always ensure that when you do rename or when you do your projects, that you always name your parts, name your drawings, even name your entities if you have to. That's just a sheet set manager when you can publish all project sets to one standard. Okay, as you can see there, it's just displaying. You just search your I have a project there and I'm just saving it in the background. And there we go. Oh, sorry, let me just get my mouse here. Okay, the next one is DraftSight Premium. Some more team scale tools. So you can link data to an Excel sheet. So basically, what this does is you can inside DraftSight, you can link the Excel sheet. Once you just type data link, it's going to ask you to find the Excel sheet that you want. You click on the Excel sheet. Then it will link that data inside the sheet, as you can see over here, into the drawing environment over here. So any changes you make inside the Excel sheet will update automatically inside the drawing. It's a very powerful tool. Again, as I mentioned, in the past, even myself, I used to do my bill of materials, do my revision tables inside DraftSight, sometimes AutoCAD, and then from there it was back into Excel. So you're basically repeating the stuff that you were doing just in another environment, whereas this is linked. They also custom blocks. So you have one block, many configurations. We actually do a demo on this as well. And then also make flat snapshots when you're given a 3D model and you're asked to make a flat view of the 3D model. Let's go to my So here we have a custom block. We need to rotate this chair to face this desk over here. So this is the floor layout of a call center that someone is designing. And now all the chairs are facing in one direction. So now we know as common sense that says that this chair needs to face that direction. So a normal user would highlight, then look for the modifying tools, look where rotate is, or even type rotate and try to rotate this as well. Then you can even mirror this feature as well if you want. But the nice thing with this is, with blocks, is you can actually customize inside the block and give it better configurations. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to edit this block, select my custom chair, click OK. So inside my environment, this is my editing environment for my blocks. So you will for every block that you have, you will have this interface over here. Let me just move this away quickly. Cool. Yeah, so you will have this environment with your configurations that you can add. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mirror this chair to face the opposite direction. So I'm gonna start my point, click on mirror, and then so you'll notice that it's I'm moving 600, minus 600, minus 580. So it's increments of 20. So I want to set it to 50. So I'm just going to click on my snap over here, on my settings. I'm going to set this to 50. Apply. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to just zoom out, and now I'm going to just mirror this again. Click on the origin. Let's do this. Mirror. Oh, click on the snap, and the snap is off. Sorry, my bad. 0.00, and like this. Cool. There we go. I got my mirror point over there. I'm gonna click OK. And next up, I'm just gonna activities. I'm now on to mirror the spot. I'll select my mirror state, press enter, and then I'm gonna highlight my block, press enter. So you notice I have a mirror state now that exists. I'm just gonna go in close. I want to save my edits. So notice now when I click on my block over here, I have an arrow that's appearing. Just click on that arrow, and my chair shifts over. Now, what happens if you can't do multiple, but what you can do is every time you select your chair, custom chair in this case, you just click, click, click. Yeah, so you can just do this, and then what happens is all your chairs will just shift. So again, it applies to all chairs. I can even change that rotation over there. The nice thing with edit, as I mentioned about multiple configurations, you can have this chair facing a 90-degree, 45-degree, 30-degree, etc. So you can actually build your configurations in such a way that, let's say, if the desk has to change, you can then also just ensure that your chair is facing the desk at the correct angle. Just an example when it comes to chairs, but for anything else, you can do the same. Have your block, give it configurations, and then just reuse the configurations inside your environment. Back to my PowerPoint. Next up is the make flat snapshot. This is a good time saver as well. So here you see it's just the steps of how to, when you're importing a model, making the flat snapshot, and then also clean 2D block. So basically, you are given a, let me just go to my window here quickly. You are given a 3D model like this. This is a 3D model. I can rotate it. I can just show you 3D model. You're given a 3D model, and now your manager or your client wants the flat view of this. I'm not talking about the front view, but the isometric view, but a flat view of this. So what do we do then? So again, most users, in fact, all users will design a flat view of this. Here we can actually make a flat snapshot of this 3D model. I can say insert as a block. I'm going to click OK. And notice I have a flat view over there. But now I wanted to have the correct projection. So I'm going to click just drop it over there. I want to ensure that my scale factor is 1:1. And then my angle, maybe 315. And there you go. Now imagine drawing this. Imagine drawing a flat view of the isometric view. That will probably take us, what, 15 minutes. But now we just say we've done this in under a minute, basically, just by using the correct commands. Another one that I really enjoy is the image tracer. This is taking a JPEG and making it into a drawing. So this replaces standard rasters to vector tools built into DraftSight. So just bear in mind, just a quick tip on this. Always ensure that your images are of high quality. So you notice how I got like this block text over here. I also got sorry, let me just do that. And also this text cutting into the sheet over there. So I'm going to head over to my browser again and image tracer. So the first thing I need to do here is always when using this tool, always attach an image. So I'm going to find an image. I'm going to go back. Sorry, and here we go. Notice it's a JPEG. Open. And I'm going to click OK. Specify the position. So it's going to be 0, 0. And then scale 1. It's because it's 1:1. I'm just going to zoom this. And there we go. Nice thing again about your, okay, this is Power Tools is something new to DraftSight 2026. I'm going to click on Power Tools. So this is where all my tools live, all my Power Tools live. I need to trace this image now. So I'm just going to maybe turn that off up to my views. Go back to my Power Tools, image trace, there we go. And I can just expand this slightly. So now I was given this image. I need to now create a drawing from this image. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight. Finish there. It loaded all my properties. Again, here is prompts that you can follow. Please, it tells you what to disable. It tells you what to do, all the steps you can follow. So this is just normal lines. Notice again, just notice this text over here, and notice that there, and notice all these again because of the pure quality of the image. And then you can set your transparency as well, make it darker, lighter. You can set the brightness as well if you want. Notice that happens, but those are just settings that you can, depending on what exactly you're trying to achieve. Let's go, yeah, 20. So now I'm going to click OK. So now I can just click on here and delete, and there I have my image. I can even test if this is an image. So you think I'm not playing in tricks on you? I can go to my smart dimensions, can click on that circle over there. It's an arc. Again, depending on because just copy it's like an image that is being traced. Your standards is not correct. So those are things that you're going to have to set as you so let me just do that zoom extend. There we go. Yeah, so notice again, because of the text, those are all broken. That is broken. Again, this is intentional. And then you can see there as well, text. So always ensure that you're working with high quality images. Sometimes you're scanning a PDF or you're scanning a drawing sheet, and then you want to scan it as an image. Always ensure that you're using the highest DPIs as well, so that you can get the best quality CAD model when you are like using the image tracer. And then another one is the batch PDF import only in DraftSight. So this is a tool unique to DraftSight. So what other CAD tools do, you import one PDF at a time, you navigate each file manually, and also it is slow, repetitive for large project scales. So what DraftSight does is it points to a folder of PDFs. It can be, I think it's up to 50 PDFs, sorry. Yeah, so the poll here is how often does your team import or recreate PDF drawings?
Okay, John, seems like we're getting quite a lot of feedback here. They especially like your power trim and your fast commands. Seems like a very favorite one.
Yeah, again, from experience and also dealing with a lot of DraftSight users, not just DraftSight, 2D CAD users in general. Like I said, most of the time is spent in editing and what they call it like revision, red lines. So stuff's getting installed on site, for example, comes back with changes that needs to be made. So a lot of time gets spent doing editing. So once you have the right tools or these power tools, if I can put it, at your disposal, you cut down so much time and gives you more time for new projects as well. And again, again from experience, you don't only have one project to work with, you have like 4 or 5 projects at a time. So having these tools can assist you in a very big way. Cool. I'm just gonna jump over to the batch PDF import. Let's go there quickly. Okay, so now the sheet here, but let's go to image batch PDF import. Awesome. So now you have a bunch of PDFs that you want to import into DraftSight. You can just go there quickly. I'm gonna import PDFs. So you have an option to insert as a block or batch processing. I'm gonna batch process, select the source path. Where does it exist? This is my batch PDF demo. So you'll see inside there. Okay, there's nothing inside because it's folder that you select. And inside there are about I think it's like 12 drawings. I'm gonna click select all, and then I must browse to a folder where I need to export it to. So I'm gonna just say new. I can even add a new one. I'm gonna say there PDFs in DraftSight. And say select folder. Select that folder there. Cool, and I'm gonna click OK. So now what it's doing now is it's importing. It imported all these into my environment. So I'm gonna go to my folder here quickly. I'm gonna go back, and do you have a DXF? I'm just gonna open one of the DXFs, for example, just to show you. See if it comes through. There we go, back here. Let's do this again. Open. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I have one of the PDFs that I've imported, MPT1. Just took my PDF document and just imported my stuff with all the data that's on that PDF. Sorry. So if you have a PDF documents of existing drawings that you want to now, and some companies are like 50 years old, 25 years old, that have hard copies of data. Those can be scanned to PDF and then inserted inside DraftSight. And you can then just have that as CAD data, electronic data, depending on how you're going to use it. Let's go back to my slide. So now we're looking at standardizing designs across the team. So drawing standards. So again, most time gets lost because of inconsistency when it comes to users. Every user has their own way of doing things, and that does cost a project and the entire team loss of hours. So one, a drawing standard file control. So the nice thing about this is you can have consistency in your layers, your colors, your line types, text styles, dimension styles, title blocks, and viewport templates, hatch patterns, unit settings, drawing limits, and scale factors. When I was in the design office, one of the things I've done most of the time was correcting my templates, because when I was given specific templates to use, they were inconsistent with the actual project. I can say the project criteria. So most of my time on a project was spent in creating templates, print settings, layers, etc. So some advice: build your master template that you can distribute to your entire team, save it as a DWS, drawing standard file, attach it to any drawing or template, and DraftSight flags any violations on open and auto fixes or manually corrects violations. So basically your standard, your current projects will be measured to your standard. So your standard will be like gospel, we can put it that way, and everything needs to comply to that gospel. And that's a nice thing. Every user will then have to ensure that, or not every user, but the software itself will fix anything that can automatically fix, and then or manually if the user has to do it themselves. The nice thing about layer managers is it keeps complex drawings under control. You can filter. So you can filter. See over here. So my mouse is all over the place. There you go. You have different your states. So you get the type of layer, the name of the layer that you want. So you can have walls, you can have boundaries, you can have plugs, for example. You can either hide or show it inside your drawing. You can freeze it. You can lock it so no one can edit it. You can assign colors to it. You can assign line styles to it, line weights, etc. You can also include them in printing or hide them in printing as well. So you can, it's just the basics of filtering layers. You can lock layers and also group them. And layers are project specific as well if you want to use it in that way. Block attributes, data inside your drawings. I did cover this. So here's a symbol of a valve with block attributes. So now, so what does attributes give you? Gives you embedded part numbers and metadata, auto-generate bombs and schedules, queryable and exportable to a bomb at any time, and bridge into PDM and ERP without rekeying. So basically, it's metadata inside your symbol that can be reused and can be extracted anywhere, as I mentioned, bill of materials, or even in your Excel tables inside DraftSight. Again, this saves you time from adding note fields and then typing serial number, and typing model number, manufacturer, and a description. So next up, we're going to look at what's new inside DraftSight. So there's been some nice features that has been released inside DraftSight. You've seen some of them, but I'm not going to go through this the slide here on, of what exactly is in there. But there's six power tools or power features that was released this year in DraftSight 2026. The first one is floating windows. So there are times when you want to drag and drop things between projects in different windows. So now in 2026, you can have separate windows cascaded, a window on your first screen, another window on your second screen, and you can just drag and drop between the windows inside your drawing environment. And this is very powerful because now you had to minimize your drawing and then in the same window, and it becomes a slip because yeah, it's just frustrating. And sometimes you select the wrong thing and then you can't see what you're doing, or you forgot because you so much things in your mind. Next up is also the Power Tools tab. So there's 43 commands in one place. Instead of searching through different commands all over the place, you can now then just in one location under your Power Tools, you'll see there's not 43 listed here because some of the tools are hidden under these drop downs. So each feature will have sub features that you can select. So just some commands that's available as areas, extracts, layer ISOs, erase, text alignment. You saw the image tracer, drawing compare. You can compare drawings between users or standard. You can explode, scale. So all your most frequently used tools in one place, your power tools. Get block info. This is instant block counting. So before, one would normally count blocks manually, tally it in the spreadsheet, spot check, hope you didn't miss anything. Okay, with the get block info, you can just right click on that block. Let's say in this case the chair. Now there is 1,000 chairs across the call center floor. You right click on there, say get a block info, and it will pull through all the attributes of all the information, sorry, of that block. So it will tell you the block name and exactly how many chairs, in this case, or blocks of the same type is on your drawing sheet. It makes it much easier for you to use when you are exporting to Excel for bill of materials. Bulk update attributes from a spreadsheet. This is just the steps of how to do it, but you'll see on the next page is a video. So basically, you can now export attributes from your environment to an Excel spreadsheet, and you can bulk select all the attributes, and it will do that for you. And then, yeah, so what do teams ask before they switch? So if you're AutoCAD, any AutoCAD user, currently using AutoCAD or any 2D CAD software, if you're trying to figure out what DraftSight is, these are some of the questions that one would ask. Will my drawings open clearly or cleanly? Yes, DraftSight reads and writes native drawings. So existing AutoCAD files open without conversion. X references, so there are certain references that exist inside another CAD package that doesn't exist inside DraftSight in this case. So those references, they pull through automatically inside DraftSight. The second question one would ask is how steep is the learning curve? As you can see, let me just go there quickly. DraftSight is very simple. It has the same interface as AutoCAD. I've used it in the past, so I can attest, so I can confirm that. You have your CAD, your different workspaces. So you have your CAD workspace. You can have all your toolbars on the side over here. That you have your classic environment. Many people older than me are familiar with this type of environment because they've been using AutoCAD longer than I've been on the earth. So yep. So basically, these are the classic windows. So you'll see there's four workspaces. I am using the Enterprise Plus, which is equivalent to your Premium. So there is 4, whereas in the Professional you would have 3 standards, or 3 workspaces. Sorry. And then, so the learning curve isn't that big. You're just going to get familiar with some of the new features, basically. What about load shedding? So DraftSight runs fully offline on the desktop, so a power cut does not lock you out. Perpetual licenses keep working when connectivity drops. So basically, there's no your network connectivity has no effect when running DraftSight, especially if it's standalone license. Some common questions. Professional Premium. So honest answer: most 2D drafting teams only need Professional. Choose Premium when you rely on automation, parametric blocks, or 3D to 2D documentation. And then also lastly, another question that one would ask is, what can it not do? So that's a very important question. It is not a 3D modeler, although it has 3D capabilities. It's not a 3D modeler. For full parametric 3D, you still want SolidWorks or any other 3D CAD package. DraftSight is built to be the best value 2D drawing tool, and we are upfront about that. So here's just the difference between Professional and Premium, which one fits your team. So you'll see some of the features here. It's basic drafting features. For Professional and Premium, they exist, but where Premium has advantage is a 3D model working space, parametric constraints, custom blocks, sheet set managers, make flat snapshots, 3D to 2D, data link to Excel, and step imports. So you can actually, so what I've done, what you guys seen with a flat snapshot, you can actually import step files inside that. It will enter into the 3D environment, and the same steps you followed with, or that I've shown with exporting the 3D into a flat snapshot, you can do with a 3D model as well. So question to ask yourself, which package is right for you? So DraftSight Professional for day-to-day 2D drafters. So you produce 2D drawings, you collaborate with SolidWorks PDM team. So if you have PDM, if you are a company or enterprise that uses PDM, you can collaborate inside PDM with your team. You want full AutoCAD compatibility drafting. Yes, sometimes your clients do send you drawings that was done in AutoCAD. So there is compatibility between the 2 packages. You need standards, batch operation, and toolbox. Where Premium will be an advantage is if you build large libraries of reusable blocks. You use parametric designs, intent in 2D, you manage multiple sheets, you automate via Lisp, the API or scripting, and also if you are bridging 3D models into 2D documentation, this is where Premium will be an advantage. So where to learn more after today? The DraftSight website has all these links available. So for DraftSight tutorials, there's over 500 and I think 520 tutorials available. If you want to learn, these tutorials are very short. I think 3 minutes max on some of the features that you can learn on. So basically, step by step on how to do specific things. So if you are battling with how to use certain features, you can just find it there, or you can just contact your reseller. It's also DraftSight on YouTube. So some of the videos you'll see on the tutorials will also be on the YouTube channel. You can also have access. So if you trying to still want to explore DraftSight, and you're not a DraftSight user yet, you can explore a free 30-day trial. So you can apply on the website or just contact your reseller as well, and then they will be able to set you up with a DraftSight trial license. And then also there's a DraftSight blog where you can look at customer stories. You can engage with other you can look at and spotlight features and some more news about what's coming in DraftSight, etc. So the 5 key takeaways from today. So number 1, we spoke about speed. So your power trim tools, your smart dimension, your mouse gestures. So these alone can return hours of work every week. Standards, single drawing standard file can end layer arguments. So again, if you're a team of 4 or 5 users, different standards. If you have one standard that governs your organization or your design team, everybody, no matter what standard they're using, will always, when they submit it and or use as standard template, everything will comply to the standard. Communication, block attributes, and PDM connectors means drawings carry the data and stay in sync. Automation, like the get block info, so no need to count how many blocks exist in your factory floor of maybe chairs or whatever, tables. You can then just run the get block info and get the live count for that. Import block attributes, power tools tab, which helps you remove manual counting and updates. And then also the last one is the reach, make flat snapshot, image tracer, and batch PDF imports unlock work that other 2D CAD tools simply can't do. Again, some of these tools, as I mentioned earlier, is unique to DraftSight because of the integration with SolidWorks in this case. So a lot of some of the, like the power trim and the mouse gestures is all native to SolidWorks, so that's been implemented inside the 2D CAD packages. So again, if you visit the website, you'll find more information on exactly what features are available. And Brandon, you can just run another poll, please, if you don't mind. So just a question here. So of these 4 pain points, which one relates to you or your organization currently? And you'll see there's another poll as well.
I see quite a few people are saying repetitive drafting.
Yep.
And communication gaps, that's also a big one.
Yeah. With repetitive drafting, again, like I mentioned, you can reuse a lot of, if you are doing the same drawings over multiple projects, the best thing is always to create blocks. Blocks is very just simple drag and drop, and then that exists again inside your project. And also with the drawing sheets manager and also the document resources, you can also just use that, just pull from an existing drawing or project and then just add those layers, add those dimension styles, add those line weights, etc. And you don't have to go back and start again.
And then John, that second one there, what's the biggest thing holding your team back from switching 2D tools?
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few of them also say DWG compatibility worries and cost, but they're also quite keen.
Cool. When it comes to the costing, DraftSight, I'm not sure the price, but I'm sure it's maybe way cheaper than what AutoCAD is. But if you want to know more about the costing or the pricing of it, you can always contact your nearest reseller, and they will most likely to help you with costing for DraftSight. So there's multiple options available. It's your professional, which is professional and premium. Those are your standalone products, and then also you have your enterprise and enterprise plus. Enterprise is it's like a network license basically. If you are a team of 10 designers, you don't have to buy 10 premium professional licenses. You can then just have the one network license or enterprise license with 10 seats, and that's the correct term to use. And then all your designers can access the DraftSight using a server and the license that's installed on the server. And when it comes to the DWG compatibilities, remember DWG DXFs are international CAD standards for 2D. So you can open up DWG in any platform that allows you to open DWG. So it can be Rhino, it can be even SolidWorks drawings can open DWG. So anything that's native. So it's like I said, it's an international standard for 2D drawings, DWG DXFs. There will be difference. There will be a difference when it comes to blocks and references, but other than that, you can open up any drawing in any 2D CAD package inside DraftSight. Thank you. Is there any questions that you guys have, or you can just get in touch with us as well if anything comes to mind? You can always just pop us. Email will be sent to all attendees. Thank you email, and you can always just maybe respond on that as well with your questions. Otherwise, we can answer some questions now. We still have a few minutes left. And also, you can also watch us again on the YouTube channel. So all that information will be sent in our email in an email to all the attendees today. Give you guys a few
So
minutes
far, I
just to
don't
ask.
see anything on my side, John.
We can just give it a few minutes, another 2 more minutes for questions. Otherwise, all the information you can find, okay, as I mentioned, on our DraftSight website. There is blogs, there is tutorials, which are very, very straightforward as well. Thank you guys for attending. If you guys have questions, we can conclude the session. And I just thank you for joining today. And I just hope this was very informative. And like as I mentioned, any questions, just contact your nearest reseller, respond to emails, ask us questions. We are more than gladly willing to help and to assist with any queries that you guys have.